Hello.
Hi.
And welcome back once again to Wheel Takes, a podcast about the Wheel of Time, a series of fantasy novels written by Robert Jordan and completed by Brandon Sanderson. My name's Gus. I've read all of them.
And I'm Allie, and I'm on book 12, chapter 35?
34.
34.
This podcast only contains spoilers for what Allie's already read, which again today is everything up to and including The Gathering Storm, chapter 34, which is a Matt chapter, but before we talk about that, we gotta talk about The Gathering Storm, chapter 33, which is a Nynaeve chapter. Allie, what's going on?
In the chapter or with me?
Well, I realize for you nothing has changed since the last time I asked you that question because it's been like 2 hours.
No, I'm just relaxing my jaw.
Yes, that's going to be a theme.
Which is honestly making me tired.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel tired.
Well,
I feel like I'm relearning how to talk and smile and laugh, and I don't know how to do any of those things anymore, and apparently I never did.
You know what's not tiring?
What?
These chaps.
This is true. These chaps are popping off.
Non-stop bangers, as it were.
Non-stop bangers.
Unrepentant bangers.
Especially with these dragons banging all over the place.
A lot of that. A lot of those.
And that's not just Rand.
He's also doing, well, not lately, seems like.
No, he's been kind of a massive bummer lately.
He's which, I mean, again, fair, but also...
Fuck it. Not fair. Everybody's going through something right now. And also, no one's going to want to work with you if you're an asshat.
That's probably true in his case. He does seem to be driving every single person away from him.
I would be driven away by this. I'd be like, I'm not here to be your fucking punching bag, dude.
In fairness, if you had been compelled to strangle me to nearly the point of death, you probably wouldn't be doing very well either.
No, but it wouldn't make it everyone else's fucking problem.
Valid. Some people headcanon that Rand actually did kill her, and then only by bale-firing Semirog did he roll time back enough to make it so that he didn't.
Listen,
they made
Rand
it worse.
Experiencing trauma, yes. But the others have also experienced some pretty intense trauma, and they're not being a dick about it.
That's pretty true. Matt had to marry a slaver.
Frankly, that might be the worst one.
What did Perrin have to do? Perrin has to hang out with Talonvor.
Went missing for like 17 books.
And he's got to hang out with Talonvor. Mm-hmm. I don't know how anybody can live through that.
Listen, we don't have to do the trauma Olympics, but they've all experienced some pretty intense shit, and none of them are being a dick about it, other than one of them in particular.
That's fair. I do think it's also fair to say that
Land's whole life from the time he was a wee baby was traumatic.
Literally in the cradle.
Literally in the cradle.
Cradle trauma.
Rand had a good 18 years.
That almost could make it feel like more. He's gone from 100 to negative 1,000, whereas Land kind of started at negative 400.
I mean, sure.
Imagine re-clenching your jaw right now versus how you thought it was before.
Dude, it's changing my face shape, I swear to God.
It's cool. It's fun.
Like the muscles in my jaw are changing. I can actually feel them like... You felt like I made you feel it earlier.
I did, yeah.
It's actually different.
Well, Allie, here's what I gotta know from you. Do you have any notes for The Wheel of Time, chapter 33, called Nynaeve Does Some Shit and Rand is a Dick?
Nynaeve again? Incredible. So he does give her a little special treatment because he was like, if it were anyone else, I'd have them beaten for waking me up.
Get their ass beat for waking me up.
Frankly is fair.
Imagine being woken up at 3:30 in the morning by somebody asking you to do something.
All right. If we want to play that game.
No, I'm teasing you.
I may have been a bad wife the other day.
No, never.
I may have, but in fairness, I was about to do a thing that we both know makes me go insane.
This was not an attack. This was just me joking around.
It was an attack.
Riffing,
I feel
bipping
very
and
attacked.
bopping, yoking,
I feel very attacked.
Joking, joshing, Yosha Stradovskying. Stradovsky? I don't know. I've never spoken to him. I don't know. I'm sure I've heard him say his name.
Let's not scare tension back into this jaw.
All right.
I'm just kidding. Some people don't want to get married, Nynaeve. We aren't in the land of village elders anymore.
Oh, yeah, because she's like, they're fucking.
Why aren't they married?
Why didn't he put a ring on it? Which is cute.
Because sometimes you don't need to be married to someone to be fucking them.
Don't always got to do that.
Also, he's got like 45 girlfriends at this point.
He does have quite, and they're kind of married. They're just not
They're like
legally
all
married.
but married.
They're magically married.
Also, it's the apocalypse. Let's just let people be doing what they need to do to get through it. Worst thing about Rand is he can make tea bitter. I wouldn't do well.
I would not
him.
go in for bitter tea. I would rather have honey in it. Honey and lemon.
You a honey and lemon guy?
I think for tea, if the tea tastes like shit, if it's bitter, honey and lemon help.
Honey and lemon certainly do help. Okay, but still no one's going to want to work with you like this, so adjust your attitude, please. He like explains his whole worldview about like why he's going to be like this, and it's like, because I'm going to die anyway. And I'm like, okay, but, and he's like, so I can just burn myself to death. And I'm like, okay, however, everyone else has to deal with you. Counterpoint, it's not all about you all the fucking time. Just because you're the savior of the goddamn world doesn't mean we have to put up with your bullshit.
It's very much not
this
about
would literally
him all the
be what
time,
I
is
said.
it?
I'd be like, you're being such a fucking asshole, right? And I'm like, send me away if you want to, whatever. You need to hear this, like, as your childhood friend. Like, everyone's going to stop wanting to work with you.
Yeah,
I don't care if this is your suicide. Like, wham, wham, wham. Let me call the wambulance. My husband might be on his way to die. Like, go fuck yourself. Stop being such a goddamn asshole about it. Not everything has to be everyone's fucking problem. And it is so weird how easy it is to talk.
He is also actively changing the world around him, it seems, by being such a negative Nancy. Like, the food is spoiling. The tea spoils when he's in the room trying to Taviran things.
He's literally a fucking storm cloud on everyone's goddamn day.
It's almost as though the dragon is one with the land and the land is one with the dragon. Wasn't that a prophecy we got once?
So maybe you should fix your tude, dude.
Dive in, jump right in, pop on through, keep on rolling. What other songs? Not songs, references can I make? Keep on rocking in the free world. Life is a highway, and I just want to read.
Yeah.
I'm fucking around now. I'm sorry. Chapter 33, conversation.
Why are you apologizing? You're being all cute and fun. Why are you apologizing to me?
Chapter 33, a conversation with the dragon. That's the logo. What is it?
It's the dragon in a
box boy. Rand is here. He's not the POV, and he goes, "This had better be important." And she's like, "Hey."
Okay, immediately I'd be like, "Fix your attitude."
How you doing, big boy, big man, my guy, Kingster, one of the kind dude? How's it happened? Are you good? You having a bad time? And he's having a bad time. Then Min comes in.
He's always having a fucking bad time.
He
makes it so that everyone else has a fucking bad time.
He's got on a titty.
Like, maybe the Forsaken are more fun than you. I don't know.
Well, listen, having spent time with a lot of them, Samael is a romp.
Samael was
Every
funny.
time Samael was on the page, he was a fucking laugh riot.
True. Some of them were fun.
Remember when he sent Rand a messenger and Rand told the messenger, "Go fuck yourself," and the messenger dissolved into blood, and Samael went, "That went well. I think he's into it."
Who would be the best Forsaken boss?
Boss?
Mm-hmm.
None of them. But if I had to pick one, Masana?
I think I picked Balor.
No, Megiddian.
I think I picked Balor.
Because she would never be there.
Megiddian would never be there?
Megiddian would never be there.
No, that's probably true.
Masana, we know, likes to show up in her fucking shiny shirt bullshit and be like, "It's me. I'm scary."
But I feel like we're missing again Balor.
Oh, Balor.
Seems like everyone is pretty happy under him, and he's pretty incompetent, so like you could kind of get away with a lot of shit.
I miss Balor too.
You could probably slack off a lot when Balor's involved.
I miss Balor. I miss Samael. Don't really miss Semirog, unfortunately. She was not a hang.
Yeah. She was not a hang.
Grendel, haven't seen her in a minute.
She'd be the worst boss.
Although we may have found her now.
Yeah.
Was that quicker than you thought?
It was.
We appear to have What's the next
Grendel.
step?
Well,
magic battle in the sky, anime battle with Grendel, tits akimbo.
Go in there blasting, I think.
Natron Sparrow, meet the Doomslayer, BFG 9000 kind of shit.
Go in and you gotta go, "I feel compelled to kick your ass."
She just racked an imaginary shotgun as she did that.
And then a Kill Bill style sword fighting
I've never
sequence.
seen Kill Bill.
I've never seen Kill Bill.
What are we doing?
Do you want to put that on the list?
Yeah, that's
Next
on the
movie
list
night,
now.
we're watching Kill Bill.
That's on the list. By the way, you remember a couple months ago when you flamed me for not finishing shows? I have a bone to pick with you. You don't like to finish audiobooks.
What do you mean?
We had been sitting on Faithful Place for something like 4 months. And we get in the car and I'd be like, "You want to listen a little more of Faithful Place?" You'd be like, yeah, later.
Well, sometimes I'm tired.
That's fair.
I would love to listen to it. We can listen to it on the way to the 85,000 birthday parties we're
No, we
attending
have
this
to
evening.
listen to this book.
Oh, yeah.
Because we need to make progress in this
True.
book.
That's true. Okay, well, see, that's not my fault then.
All right, so Rand's here. He's hanging out. Rand's got on a robe, and Min's got on a titty robe because they're in Arid Daman. Good for her, good for him. I'm proud of them both. There's a bunch of maidens there. They're hanging out too. Nynaeve is like, damn, you're not the same. You're having a bad fucking time. You're doing a real bad time. And she brings in Curb and he goes, what the fuck is going on? Why is this fucking child, this young man? What's going on here? What the fuck is this? The fuck is going on? Why am I out of bed right now? Which is my question all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes she makes an eavesdropping ward and he's like, what the fuck is that? She goes, it's fine. It's okay. It's just me. I'm making an eavesdropping ward. And she goes, I think this spindly, terrified youth knows where the king is. And he goes, the king? Grendel 2, then. How do you know this, Nynaeve? Where'd you find him? And she gives him the
Grendel
rundown.
2, Electric Boogaloo.
That's the episode title. Grendel
All
2,
right.
Electric Boogaloo.
I got that in the first 12 minutes.
She's like, hey, Millicent Chadmar's being treated like ass. And he's like, uh-huh. Yeah, okay. So anyway, what's this kid know? And what does this kid... Why
Where Grendel's located?
how do we figure this out?
How do we figure out that he knows where she's located?
Yeah.
Well, he poisoned what's-her-face.
You poison what's-her-face. This is
That
a
was mostly
self-evident question. I'm sorry, I
And
don't
then,
know why I asked
and
that.
then Rand kind of did the whole... And he had poison, the poison on his person. And when Rand did the whole delving thing into him,
Is it
he
delving?
was like, I don't know.
He's doing the fucking Taviraning at people again.
When he's looking at him for answers?
Yeah, he's trying to Taviran him into telling him again.
Oh,
Which seems to be his new
then
go-to
he
modus
goes-
operandum.
yeah. And then he goes,
Which is metagaming.
I suppose. Yeah, I suppose I have been begging for him to start metagaming, so I suppose I can't be angry with him for doing what I asked, but I am concerned.
It's a not like this situation, right?
Yeah,
It was
it's a
like
not-
he started
I
killing
meant
women and now
point
he's like, I
minute
guess I could just
people.
kill many women. And we're like, no, you've gone too far now. We shouldn't have asked for that the same way that we did.
I should have been more specific,
Yeah.
really. But when I meant metagaming, I meant point minute people, not play with the fabric of the world
Tell
and
me.
fast and loose with everybody's safety. But, here I am.
Tell me, Rand said to Curb. Who told you to poison those
You
people?
could almost call this interrogation a curb stomp.
I don't know anything, the boy squeaked. I just... Stop, Rand said softly. Do you believe that I can kill you? Do you believe that if I simply said the word, your heart would stop beating? I'm the Dragon Reborn. Do
Good
you believe
God.
that if I can take your life or your soul itself... Nope, sorry. Do you believe that I can take your life or your soul itself if I so much as will it to happen? And then, like, the weird, dark, fuzzy cloud around him starts happening again, and Nynaeve is like, I don't like that at
Yeah.
all. And he starts crying, and Rand goes, yeah, he's all fucked up in the head. I fucking nailed it, man. I'm on top of the world. I'm the king of the world, man. I fucking knew it. Grendel put her fingers all the way up his ass and really got in there and just, like, messed him the fuck up. Horrible phrasing. I regret everything I've ever
She's
said.
finger puppeting him.
Yeah. I
Hey.
was helping my friend shoot a music video the other day, by the way, and her boyfriend was kind of offering like directorial advice because we're all artists and we all do this kind of stuff for each other all the time. And the music video involved her singing while holding a glass of whiskey, and he would be kind of shouting out tips of like, oh, try doing this, try doing that, and then if she liked it, she would try it, and if she didn't, she wouldn't. And she was sitting in the chair holding this glass and mime singing, and he goes, finger the rim, finger the rim, you got to finger the rim.
Did he know how funny that sounded?
Not at the time. He realized pretty quickly, but he kept saying it, and everybody else in the
Well,
room,
of
there were
course he kept
5 of
saying
us,
it. I know who you're talking about.
started cracking the fuck up, and he was like, you got to finger the rim all the way around. Come on. She did not, in fact. She left the cup alone after that. But yeah, that's
Finger
Grendel.
the rim.
Finger the rim. And he goes, this is compulsion. Nynaeve, she's here. I was right. You'll have to unravel the web of compulsion, wipe it from his mind before he can tell us what he knows. She's like, excuse me? I beg your fucking pardon? And he's like, well, you could do it, right? You're healer, legendary, awesome icon, healer. You can heal that shit. Heal compulsion. You can figure it out. She's like, that's a kind of, I don't think
that's kind of a lot to put on someone on the spot. And Nynaeve is so like me. She's like, I don't want to try something for the first time in front of people. What if I fail at it?
Rand.
And I was like, that's so valid of you.
I just try it, Rand said. Okay, I can't tell you how it's done specifically, not for a woman, but you're clever. I'm sure you can manage.
Can we please be gentle with people's feelings?
Well, also, this is incredibly patronizing.
It is.
You're clever. I'm sure you can manage.
He's being such a goddamn asshole. And I'm just like, what? Okay, I understand the whole, like, I can burn as hard as I need to until the end, right? But I would think that would mean, like, pulling an all-nighter, not being an absolute cock to everyone who interacts with you. Do you know, like, that serves absolutely no goddamn purpose. He's like, I guess I can just be as bitchy as humanly possible.
Well, it's just rampant nihilism. You have also said...
No, but here's the thing. You could think that nihilism is silly because when nothing matters, then everything matters.
There's a whole movie
nihilism
about that.
At its core is kind of fundamentally flawed. If you think that nihilism is just that interpretation of nihilism is fundamentally flawed, because if you look at nihilism as nothing matters, so I get to be a dick to everyone, you're just looking for an excuse to be a dick to everyone and calling yourself a nihilist.
Kinda.
That's not what nihilism actually is. Nihilism is nothing matters, so everything matters. Everything matters, so nothing matters. Duh.
We can cut this if you want, but you have also said that your frustration with Rand in these chapters is because he reminds you of an ex of yours.
Yes.
Is that a big part of this?
Yes. Yeah. And it makes me want to scream every time I read a chapter with him. He's so toxic. It's actually insane. And I just am screaming at Min, get out. Get out before he burns you too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little triggering. I gotta be real. I absolutely am at this point like, Rand, it's on site. I'm kind of done with how you're treating people. And if it were me, I'd probably get myself killed mouthing off to you.
Tell me how compulsion looks to a healer.
Oh, I forget.
Reverse the weave, Rand had said. That was far from easy. She'd have to pull the web of compulsion off layer by layer, and if she made a mistake, she could very easily kill him. She could see it now. A complex web made from lines of spirit, air, and water. It was horrible, looking at it with her mind's eye, crisscrossing the youth's brain. Bits of the weave touched here and there, tiny like hooks, jutting deep into the brain itself. She almost backed away, but who else was there? Compulsion was a forbidden weave, and she doubted that Corelle and the others had any experience with it. If Nynaeve stopped now, Rand would just send for the others and ask them to do it. They'd obey him, laughing behind their hands at Nynaeve, the accepted, who thought herself a full Aes Sedai. Well, she had discovered new ways of healing. She'd helped cleanse the taint from the One Power itself. She'd healed, stilling, and gentling. She could do this.
Totes. My girl Nynaeve can do everything.
She worked quickly, weaving a mirror image of the first layer of compulsion. Each use of the power was exact, but reversed from the pattern... reversed from the pattern already woven in the boy's mind. Nynaeve laid her weave down carefully, hesitantly, and as Rand had said, both puffed away and vanished. How had he known?
Wait, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
If Rand knows how to undo compulsion from the man's side of things, why doesn't he just do it?
Because it's made with Saidar, not Saidin.
Oh.
Yeah, he could theoretically undo compulsion laid by...
Wait, so he can't undo a weave done by... Oh,
can't see it, can't touch it, yeah.
See it.
He can see where it's not. Like, if there were to be something... I seem to recall there being a moment where there is a weave made of both Saidar and Saidin, and he can see the Saidin part, but the Saidar part just looks empty. That happens at some point. I don't remember when.
I see. That is a problem.
Yeah, so he couldn't undo it because he can't see the weaves. He can only see Saidin.
Okay. So, what we need is an intersex dragon. How does that work?
Well, unfortunately...
Has Robert Jordan answered that question?
Yes. And he said, I don't fucking know.
Well, fuck, man. It's your fucking job.
Yeah. I think that was one of the Q&A questions where somebody asked the question and then they walked away and he looked at the next person and said, "Do you people have lives?" or something like that? Which, I don't think that's entirely fair when you've built a magic system on the gender binary, the sex binary, not the, you know what I mean? To be like, hey, what about people who don't, accommodate binary sexes because gender's a spectrum? He's like, I don't know. I didn't think about that. I'm like, well, yeah, but you kind of...
Does hormone therapy make you suddenly able to see weaves you couldn't see before?
It should. I don't know. By this logic. So the Queers of Time talks about this a lot more, where they kind of talk about how when you really break it down, it is unfortunate that the core DNA of the series is binary sexes, and also gender neutral power is literally Satan. That's like obviously not the intention,
so unfortunate.
but it is really unfortunate that gender neutral power is actual Satan. Yes. Yeah, it's really rough. And that the only reason...
How do you laugh with your jaw not tense?
And that
I don't know how to laugh anymore.
They also talk about...
I feel like my sense of humor left with my jaw tension. What is going on?
They also talk about how...
Oh my God, I'm having an existential crisis.
Halima,
so much of my identity was apparently wrapped up in that jaw tension, Gus. I don't know what I'm doing.
You're doing great.
It's changing my facial expressions. All this time I thought people just had Botox.
No.
But as it turns out, your forehead doesn't move as much as I make mine move.
They also like to... Sorry, do you want to talk more? I didn't want to cut you off.
Because it turns out when you grit your jaw, your forehead moves a lot more.
Queers of Time also talks a lot about how Halima being the only arguably trans character is also kind of really very unfortunate, because it implies that
transgender people are evil?
That it literally required Satan to make her. Obviously, none of this was what Robert Jordan was necessarily going for.
That's
he just wasn't
true.
No. He just wasn't really thinking about it.
No,
so.
I just find that whole idea that there are people out there that do legitimately think things like that. It's the most insane.
Oh my God, fuck them.
It's the most that's so stupid. It's funny, but if it weren't so horrible, you know what I mean? Like, this being that may or may not exist decided, you know what? You know how I'm going to mess with the fabric of humanity? I'm going to make some people born into genders that they don't really vibe with.
How devious. Like what?
Like to what end? To what end is that? I just don't understand how is that evil? What is evil about it? Explain it to me.
Transphobia doesn't make sense. It's just
no.
nonsense.
Neither does homophobia. None of it makes any sense. It's all very stupid. And we all should just collectively stop doing it. There we go. I just solved.
You saved the
literally.
city.
Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, you see racism, homophobia, transphobia, sexism. We're all just gonna agree right now together as a group. We're just gonna stop it.
Doesn't Rand do that?
What if we just stopped it?
Isn't that what, when Rand would conquer cities, he'd go and be like, all right, everybody, no more doing crimes. Stop being an asshole. Sound good? All right.
I think we should all go, yeah, kinda.
That makes sense.
Because you know what? You know what happens if we don't have to worry about any of that stuff?
You got time to do things like unclench your jaw.
Well, that.
And watch anime battles in the sky.
We don't got to worry about people doing stupid shit for no reason.
So
it's over. We're done. We all decided together not to do it anymore.
We're going to take an ad break. And I
think this is $1 million, billion-dollar idea.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. Continuing on, Nynaeve is undoing compulsion. And how's it go?
Very carefully.
Does it go well?
Well, technically, yes.
Yeah.
Because she undoes it.
Yeah.
However, unfortunately, Grendel has mind-fucked this boy so much that all he has left in him is his rage at her. And once he lets that go,
he just dies.
He just dies.
Yeah, it's really quite unfortunate.
And I'm kind of starting to worry about the fact that might be me in jaw tension.
You're going to be okay. I promise you're going to be okay. It's going to take you about a week and then you're going to be fine.
It's actually legitimately scary. I can't really, I know this sounds so dramatic I know it sounds so dramatic, but I can't. Chewing feels weird.
Yes, it's because you're adjusting to a new state.
Everything having to do with my jaw. Like, I feel like I have such mush mouth right now.
You sound great.
Mush mouth. That's hard to say with no tension.
I couldn't set a line yesterday in my in one of the scenes I was doing, which was silver medal performance. Couldn't say it. I fucked up 3 takes.
Silver medal performance.
Our silver medal performance in the trivia thing is the line, and I fucked up 3 takes.
Silver medal performance in the trivia.
Our
thing.
silver medal performance in the. I would go silver medal for. Anyway.
Silver medal performance.
So she takes an hour to decompulse this guy. I'm still saying compulse. I know it's not a word, and I don't care. She takes a full hour to decompulse this guy, he says, as he rails against decimate. I don't make sense. She undoes the compulsion, takes an hour. Min takes a nap. Rand just sits there and stares. And then he goes up to Curb and goes, "Where is she?" And he just drools at her. And Rand goes, "Where is she?" And Nynaeve's like, "Rand, what the fuck are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm not doing anything. You did this."
Yeah.
This feels like a pretty fundamental betrayal.
Yeah.
Because Nynaeve...
This is my thing, is I'm like, why are you being a dick to the people who are helping you? You know what that does? It doesn't make you cool. It makes people not want to fucking help you anymore.
What is dickish about this? What is Nynaeve's raison d'etre?
Making people feel better.
Healing people, making them better. And what did she go into the decompulsing intending to do?
Make him better.
What did it do?
Killed him.
Basically killed him.
Which, I mean, she didn't kill him. Technically, Grendel did.
Yeah, that's...
She set him free, really. But Rand should have probably given her that heads up.
Yes. Like, probably the right thing to do, because he was a puppet. But Rand probably should have mentioned that this would, end
Instead
the boy's life.
Being super callous about it after the
instead of
fact.
being like, well, he's dead.
Because now...
Clean up on aisle 6.
So he trusts Nynaeve, but what reason is he giving her to trust him? This is the thing. He's not giving these people any reasons to trust him, and he just as likely could destroy the world.
He could. In fact, I feel like that's Cadsuane's main concern. She's like, is he going to fucking kill everybody?
I would legitimately... and he's not thinking about that at all. Like, this is a one-way ticket to Destruction Junction. Population Rand, because he's killed everybody at fucking else. So, like, you're kind of giving them a reason to just fucking try to kill you.
He goes, there was no real person in this head. There were only layered weaves of compulsion, instructions cleverly designed to wipe whatever personality this poor wretch had and replace it with a creature who would act exactly as Grendel wished. I've seen it dozens of times. And she's like, yeah, you or the crazy guy in your head? Where are we going with this? And she thinks about a woman she saw who suffered a severe closed head injury and then did this for a week and then died. And Rand goes to Kirby and goes, I need a location. Something. If there's any vestige within you that resisted any scrap that fought her, I promise you revenge. A location. Where is she? And where is she, Allie?
She's in the Notting Hill or whatever.
Notting Hill. Natron's Barrow, yeah.
Not close.
Notting Hill.
Yeah, Notting Hill.
Notting Hill. What is Notting Hill? It's a show, right?
Yeah, it's a show.
Let me look this up. I've never actually watched it, but they reference it in the whatchamaffucking Schitt's Creek. Oh, a romance between a British bookshop keeper and a famous American actress who happens to walk into his shop. It appears to be Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant. And you are doing research, and you what did you find? Oh,
because a while ago I was like, I seem to recall that Notting Hill created a very long and intense feud that I think is still kind of ongoing between Hugh Grant and Julia Roberts. I'm pretty sure.
Well, either way, that's where she is. Grendel's at Notting Hill. And then he passes out, and Nynaeve is like, I can help him. And Rand's like, nah, he's dead.
Oh, apparently Grant made a comment about the size of Julia Roberts' mouth, which reportedly led to a frosty relationship.
That's a lot. So he dies, and Nynaeve is like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. What the fuck? What the fuck? And he goes, he wasn't really there anyway. And she goes, but what the fuck? I could have helped him.
Probably not.
That was fucked up. I feel like I've been used. This is what it means to be used, Rand. You're the one who's using people. He knows this, and he's doing it deliberately now, and he understands.
But it's shitty the way he's doing it.
Yeah. How is she better than the jailer who'd done such horrible things for information? She glared at Rand. He could have told her what removing compulsion would do. Don't look at me like that, Nynaeve. This was the only way it could have happened. The wheel weaves as the wheel wills. Your Aes Sedai, is that not one of your creeds?
Mm-hmm.
She goes, I don't know what it is, but it's not an excuse for your actions. What actions? You brought this man to me. Grendel used compulsion on him. Now I will kill her for it. That action will be my sole responsibility. Now let me be. I shall try to go back to sleep. Don't you feel any guilt at all? And then he does this. Should I suffer for them all, Nynaeve? Lay this death at my feet if you wish. It'll be one of many. How many stones can you pile on a man's body before the weight stops mattering? How far can you burn a lump of flesh until further heat is irrelevant? If I let myself feel guilt for this boy, then I would need to feel guilt for the others, and it would crush me. Yeah, just feel guilt for the women then, I guess. Now I get it. Allie has strong feelings about this.
What are they?
She's making a jerk-off motion with her hands.
I'm Rand. I have trauma, so I'm gonna make it everyone else's problem. It's like trauma is an excuse. It's an explanation. It's not an excuse.
Yeah, it's real. It's an explanation for things, but it doesn't. Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Your trauma is ultimately not everyone's problem. It is your problem. It is a problem. It is not everyone's problem. You don't have a right, just because life has been hard to you, to then turn that around and make life hard for other people. You don't have the right. You don't have a right to do that. I don't care. You don't have a right to do that to other people. If anything, trauma should make you go, I don't want to make anyone else feel this fucking way.
It's the quintessential hurt people of it.
Yeah, well, I'm a hurt person. I don't fucking hurt people. So what's your excuse?
No, I get it. I hear you.
Hurt people, sure.
Well,
that dumbass hurt people.
No, I agree. He's going about this in one of the least helpful ways possible.
I'm a very hurt person. I don't hurt fucking people.
Oh, Rand, she said, turning away. This thing you've become, this heart without any emotion but anger, it'll destroy you. Yes. I
would have said instead, it will destroy everyone's confidence in you.
I continue.
And then you will be an army of one going into Tarmangide.
I continue to wonder, he said, glancing down at Min, why you all assume that I am too dense to see what you find so obvious. Yes, Nynaeve. Yes, this hardness will destroy me. I know. Then what? Why won't you let us help you? And he tells this really interesting story, which I really quite like. About
climbing the mountain.
About why you can't climb Dragon Mount. Why can't you climb Dragon Mount?
Because it'll kill you on the way down.
It's such a high climb and it's such a hard climb that by the time you've gotten up there, you've expended all the energy you have and you will not be able to make the return trip.
Leave it to loose there and to be annoying even in death.
Now this is also, I want to make a parallel here to Frodo and Sam from Lord of the Rings. I think this might just be in the movie.
The journey.
Yes, this. Where Frodo...
Who
where
claim his life.
Not that part.
Oh.
There is also that part. But the part where Rand doesn't have a Sam is part of the problem. He's gotten rid of all of his Sams. Yeah. By the way, Frodo didn't have a Sam for a minute there either. But there's a moment in the Return of the King movie, I think it's at the top, where they're eating food and Sam is like rationing food. And he puts the food back and he says to Frodo, I think there'll still be some left. And Frodo says, for what? And Sam says, for the journey home. And Frodo says, I don't think there's going to be a journey home, Sam.
The journey will claim his life.
The quest will claim his life.
Oh, fuck, I meant the quest.
You
know
this.
You know this. The quest will take his life.
Claim. I think.
Fuck.
I've seen this movie only 500 times. I should watch them again. But these feel different to me.
You know this.
These feel somewhat different to me because Rand is only assuming that he has to die because it's kind of implied in one of the prophecies, whereas Frodo and Sam are like, oh my god, we're giving this 110,000% every day. We need to do this, and I don't think we'll be able to come back once we're done, but we're going to keep going, whereas Rand is like, fuck, I guess this is my destiny to die there, therefore, I'm just going to be like this about it. I don't know. It feels different to me, and I'm not quite sure how. And I have a lot of sympathy for Rand in this, because he's, but I don't think it's coming from the same place, because like Frodo and Sam, the hardship comes from the fact that the quest itself is really, really hard, and Rand appears to be kind of using the nihilistic ideations stuff as a way to...
settle some old disputes, like
settle some
disputes. Just be mean for no reason. Well, this is the thing.
Wait,
Frodo was mean to Sam because they were at a particularly stressful moment, Rand won't even look at Min with affection.
But I think
that's crazy.
Part of it is also for Rand that Rand is so kind of disgusted with his own actions that now he's using his prophesied death
as a justification for why he should be a dick to everybody.
Continue being a dick because he's like, it doesn't matter because I'm going to die anyway.
Okay, well, it matters to the people around you.
Yeah. And I also do want to emphasize that I understand that he's really pissed off that, like, he was a sweet, soft shepherd farm boy who just wanted to help people. This, by the way, is something that I think the show is doing a wonderful job of highlighting in Rand's character.
Here's the thing, though, baby cakes.
Is that he's a fixer.
You know what's real? All of our lives aren't what we thought they'd be.
That's another line from Lord of the Rings.
No, that's from The Wheel of Time. Your life isn't going to be what you thought.
There's that, too. I know, but I was thinking of, I wish the ring had never come to me. I wish it had not.
We all wish shit like that.
Yeah.
We all wish shit like that. We all have shit where we're like, I wish that had never happened to me. It would have changed everything. But guess what? We're rocking with what we got. The only control in this life that we get is whether or not we make the decision in the wake of hardship to become a softer-hearted or harder-hearted person.
Yes, and Rand has gone harder every time.
And see what it does? See what it does to the people around him? Like, why do they want to be around him?
They don't.
I wouldn't.
The only people who seem to want to be around him are Min and Nynaeve. Yeah.
The people who decide that the world is just shit, and so they have a license to be mean to everybody because of it. Because we're all going to die or whatever. Because guess what? We're all going to die. I hope that's not news. Like, we're all in a march of death.
Asmodean
right?
in shambles.
But like, and it's not about how you want to be remembered or whatever. It's that it's our duty to not make life goddamn unpleasant while we're here for everyone else and for ourselves. Because you know what? If we have to, like, if it's not just because it's the decent thing to do, it's because eventually it makes us end up alone.
Well, Rand is pretty fucking alone. So Rand is talking about how people never climb Dragon Mount because if they do, they can't get back down. He talks about how a lot of mountaineers save in this legend. In reality, Dragon Mount is so high above the clouds in reality. In the reality of the fiction, Dragon Mount is so high above the clouds, there's not enough real oxygen to get up there without, like, Everest level stuff. Which I guess you could theoretically do, but, like, people probably don't even climb Dragon Mount. It's a metaphor for within the context of the story. But he's like, so, the story is that the hikers would wait until the very end to make that last climb when they knew that it would be their last climb. And I can't help but feel that he is misunderstanding his own metaphor here because he's saying, well, I find myself on this climb, therefore I'm going to just like kick rocks at everybody else and like cause an avalanche because I have to get to the top one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got it. It's just not quite the way you need it to be. But I guess the answer and the message here is that if you're ever on top of Dragon Mount, it's going to be a fucking day and a half for you, man. I'll tell you what.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, the stories claimed no man had climbed the mountain because in doing so, he'd be without strength to return. A mountaineer could best it, reach the top, see what no man had ever seen, but then he would die. The strongest and wisest explorers knew this, so they never climbed it. They always wanted to, but they waited, reserving that trip for another day, for they knew it would be their last. And she's like, okay, this is not true. None of this is true. It's a legend. He goes, that's what I am.
Oh my God.
A story. A legend to be told to children years from now, spoken of in whispers. Sometimes you can't turn back. You have to keep pressing on. And sometimes you know this climb is your last. You all claim that I've grown too hard, that I'll inevitably shatter and break if I continue on. But you assume there needs to be something left of me to continue on.
Okay, but what about the people around you?
That I need to climb back down the mountains once I've reached the top. That's the key, Nynaeve. I see it now. I will not live through this, and so I don't need to worry about what might happen to me after the last battle. I don't need to hold back, don't need to salvage anything of this beaten-up soul of mine. I know that I must die. Those who wish for me to be softer, willing to bend, or those who cannot accept what will happen to me. And then he looks at Min. She goes, okay, but like, you maybe don't have to. Maybe you don't have to. And he goes, do not tempt me down that path again. It only leads to pain, Nynaeve. I used to think about leaving something behind to help the world survive once I died, but that was a struggle to keep living. I can't indulge myself. I'll climb this bloody mountain and face the sun. You all will deal with what comes next. That is how it must be.
If the thing that solves this is him, like, finding out he's going to be a father or something, I'm going to kind of roll my eyes a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. But what what about the people you are leaving behind?
Well, you know what my other thing is? I don't understand why he thinks he has to die. Because his citation for this is a line from the prophecies that is his blood on the rocks of Shaiol Ghul. And I'm like,
that could be anything.
That could be anything. This has been retranslated 1 billion fucking times.
Well, did Min say something about it?
No.
I thought you said Olivia would help.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. How can I win the last battle and survive? And they said, to live, you must die.
Still could mean anything.
That could mean anything.
In the Shakespearean sense?
Hold on a minute.
That's what I would have asked. I mean, follow-up question. When you say die, do you mean like cease
Do you mean like
to live?
nut or...
Do you mean like nut?
Here, don't look at the screen real
How
quick.
dare you?
Yeah, here we go. How can I fulfill the prophecies of the dragon and survive? The answer is, the west and the south must be as one, the north and the east must be as one. If you would live, Is this right? If you would live, you must die. Yeah. The north and the east must be as one, the west and the south must be as one, the two must be as one. To live, you must die. So, you know, he has 2 cryptic answers. And from those 2 cryptic answers, he's gone, well, I'm going to die, so I better be an asshole about it. Which, look, facing your death, that's a hard fucking thing. And I'm not saying anything about that, obviously. But I'm like, he's not necessarily.
Like, we're all going to die, bro. Like, listen,
it confused me very much the first time I read this. I was like, why does he think he has to, like, cease to exist here? Because all he has is very cryptic answers from very cryptic people. They didn't say you can't.
Well, plus, I mean, there's a lot of loopholes. Like,
yeah.
Your heart could be stopped for a minute or so.
You could do a Jesus. You could do a... Yeah.
Well, I mean...
So you what was your theory?
Jesus. He's Jesus Rand.
Your theory...
Oh, Moradin.
Yeah, your theory is they're going to trade heads, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's any number of things that could happen.
Yeah, they're going to do a little, switcheroo into each other's bodies. Because why else is Moradin hot?
I don't know,
to make it more okay.
All right, so...
it's like, oh, I missed your red hair, but damn, are your abs chiseled?
Rand goes, good work, Nynaeve. And she goes, I did it because I want you to trust me. I do trust you, Nynaeve, as much as I trust anyone, more than I trust most. You think you know what's best for me, even against my wishes, but that's something I can accept. The difference between you and Cadsuane is that you actually care about me. She only cares about my place in her plans. She wants me to be a part of the last battle. You want me to live. And I also understand everybody's pushed him into play. I get it. I understand it's a very complicated issue.
I don't understand at all. Please let me know that this is a complicated issue.
You have my thanks. Dream on my behalf, Nynaeve. Dream for things I no longer can.
Oh my God.
And then he goes, we'll deal with the Seanchan first. Be well prepared for that meeting. I'll take care of Grendel soon after. And she's like, damn, why couldn't I think up anything to say against that tirade? And I'm like, I don't know. I could think up a couple things to say against that tirade, Nynaeve. But let's blame ta'veren.
Mostly, that's dumb.
And that's the end of chapter 33. Chapter 34, Allie, is called Legends. This is the logo. What is it?
It's dice.
It's dice. It's a Matt chapter. Do you have notes?
Oh, I do. Just a couple, though.
And let me tell you, by the way, this is one of the chapters that people cite specifically when they go, Brandon Sanderson can't write Matt Coffin.
Huh?
People despise this chapter. Many people. Not everybody. Many people despise this chapter.
Why?
Because they think the backstories thing is stupid and makes Matt look like a dumbass.
I loved it. I thought it was one of the funniest things that's happened these books so far. And I really loved it. I was giggling the whole time.
It is really
fucking
funny.
I had so much fun.
I did too.
Oh my God, his little hijinks with his friends. Like, oh, really? People hate this?
People, not everybody, many people hate this chapter. Like, when I was in the chats talking about things about Matt, they cited this and one other chapter as like, no, it's less to do with most other things. It's more like the stupid fucking backstories bullshit. Make him look like a clown.
I loved it.
I think it's hilarious. I think it's a little out of character. Funny. But
I don't. Whoa, I'm sorry. Matt, take a dagger from the cursed city, can be a bit of a dumbass. This just in, folk. Like, what? Really?
Yeah, no, this is one
You're
of...
joshing.
I'm not kidding. This is one of 2 chapters that people point to
You're
as being
joshing
evidence that Brandon Sanderson doesn't understand Matt's character.
You're joshing me.
I'm not kidding.
That's actually wild. I loved it. I loved it. I guess people are going to start questioning my taste, but I was genuinely cheesing during that part.
I did too the first time. I was like, this is funny as fuck.
With my relaxed jaw changing the foundation of my smile.
When I read this the first time, I was like, thank fucking God somebody is giggling. Because we've had nothing but like Rand being fucking depressing and Egwene getting her ass beaten for most of this book. And then Matt shows up and he's like, hey, okay, here's your backstory. And I'm like, this is hilarious.
I kind of felt like it was a much needed comedic relief.
This is so funny. And then it all ends up being for naught because Varian's just like, hey, what up? It's me.
And that's pretty much the extent of the chapter, except for he sees Eludra and is like, about me being married. And she's like,
hey,
whatever.
Sorry about that. And he's like, it's fine. This is how it feels when you do the breakup with Lae'zel in Baldur's Gate. It's the exact same thing.
No, she was really hurt by me.
I know. Eludra, I think, is a little hurt too, but she's like, yep, it's fine. We're going to move on.
No, but that's not how Lae'zel takes it.
She says that you're the one who bruises her heart, right?
Yeah, it was horrible.
It's hard, man. Sorry, did you have notes? I cut you off.
You brought up my trauma.
I had to tell you that, yeah, go ahead.
Oh my God. If one of the girls broke up with Rand...
He would probably be like, yep, that's for the best.
No. He would externally. Internally, it would bother him so much. He'd be like, so that's why life doesn't fucking matter. Althor luck. That's what he'd be like.
Probably.
That's just like what it's like. The world's against me. I'd be like, oh my God. The world literally picked you as the special boy.
But in a way, that's
yes and no. The answer is yes and no.
Yeah, it's both.
The answer is yes and no. The answer is both. Because you could easily have just been a Two Rivers farm boy who just got ran through with a sword in chapter 1.
That was a mirror world he saw. You remember?
Yep.
He died on Winter Night in one of the mirror worlds.
Yep.
In a flicker.
I'm like, guess what? A lot of people didn't make it past Winter Night.
Yeah. Tom Ayelin or whatever got his ass stabbed.
Yeah. He wasn't special boy who didn't have to be stabbed. Do you know how many people who were in various battles that you were also in? Do you know how many meat grinder guys would have loved to have been Taviran at that moment?
Or what about all the people who've been turning into bugs and lighting themselves on fire because of
melting into
evil?
Lava?
Yeah, Ghost Town Peddler.
Or the one killed by furniture.
Wait, Ghost Town Peddler is going to be the name of my band.
Ooh.
Ghost Town Peddler. Maybe that's the chapter, the episode title.
That's
no,
good.
It can't be because it's completely irrelevant, actually. So there you go. It's Grendel 2 Electric Boogaloo.
It is relevant.
But Grendel 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I think we've had an Electric Boogaloo title. We haven't had Ghost Town Peddler.
We had Amerlin 2. We may have done Too Fast 2 Amerlin once.
But yeah, no, I'm just like, the world picked you out. And yeah, that means some unfair shit is coming your way. But it's kind of like, yeah, a lot of unfair shit has come a lot of people's way. And they also don't get to be the special one who gets to like have multiple redos.
He may also be frustrated because he has to do this every cycle forever.
Yeah, but then you get to sleep for a while. You get a nap in between, saving the world rounds.
You had one more note, I think.
I'm just saying, he's being a little bit stupid. Mandevwin is hilarious. I love this whole exchange. You see, I really did love it. I loved it a lot. It was like so needed as a breathe, like to breathe. Wow, really? People hate it?
Many, not all people hate this.
Isn't it so crazy how you can completely consume art a different way from someone else?
It's fun.
Like, I loved that. I suppose it goes to show the sanctity of the first-time reader experience really is important.
It is. It is.
Wow. I've made fun of you all these years, but...
I know. This ties again back to me reading Finnick the first time, right. Being like, what a piece of shit.
But they're right. Even telling someone like, oh, that it's good or bad is a spoiler.
Yes.
Because it informs their mindset going in.
Yes.
If somebody had been like, everyone really hates this chapter before I read it, I might have looked at it with a more critical eye. But I just vibed and enjoyed it.
I think it's funny. I think it's really, really funny. I don't know. Sorry. I think it's funny. Matt seems like a little bit of a goober, but he's also a little bit of a goober.
Yeah. That's always been the case, hasn't it? I think. He was literally trying to put badgers in
badgers in bags and shit, yeah.
How is this not consistent with who he is?
They think it's comedically, clownishly over the top.
Well, I think that people over the years decided that they were Matt Cawthon, and so they didn't like the idea of looking stupid.
That's possible.
It's a character insert thing, I think. But
I think
you know what? Here's the thing, my friends, and this is someone who unfortunately has to also identify as a Matt Cawthon. Sometimes we be dumb. Sometimes the Matt Cawthons in us, because I am Matt Cawthon's son. Really more, actually, I'm a Matt Cawthon moon because of the whole, what my moon sign is. But anyway. Wait, let me figure this out for a second.
You've done this before.
No, I know, but now if I'm doing it based on my astrology, Nynaeve rising for sure. Egwene's son. Yeah, Matt
Yeah, no,
Cawthon
I buy that.
moon.
Yeah, Matt Moon, Egwene's son, Nynaeve rising.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the episode title.
That is what,
Oh, how fucking appropriate is it you're a Matt Moon, daughter of the...
whoa. Wait, okay, what are you? Let's see. So you're Perrin. You're some combination of Perrin.
Probably Lan.
Yeah, I was thinking Lan. I was also thinking Rourke,
And
but I don't think you're Rourke and Lan. Who are the other men?
Rand.
No.
No, not Rand. Not Matt, not Rand. It doesn't have to be men. Not Matt, not Rand.
That's true.
Gaul.
Oh, Gaul. Let's put Gaul in
Perrin
there.
combination could be good.
Gaul, Perrin.
Eamon Vol. Not Eamon Vol,
Actually,
but the
feel
other
like
one.
Gaul, Perrin, Tom.
Gaul, Perrin, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
Was it Gaul, Sun, Perrin, Moon, Tom rising?
Hold on, let me think about your Tom rising for sure. Yeah, it is Gaul, Sun, Perrin,
Gaul,
Moon,
Sun,
Tom
Perrin,
rising.
Moon, Tom rising.
Yeah.
All right. So did you have one more note? I saw one more note, and I think it was Egwene and Eludra couple.
I was kind of digging that. She was like, "Hey, don't talk to her that way," and I was like, "U-Haul right now."
No, but she's.
I don't care.
She's got.
She can have two.
I was gonna make a crass joke, but then I elected not to.
Do you get points for electing not to, but still sharing that with us?
Yeah. It's a virtue signal thing. It's a morality superiority thing.
Oh, is it?
I don't fucking know. I'm just playing. Also, the joke I was gonna make didn't make sense because he doesn't have a mustache, so never
Is it
mind.
about mustache rights?
Yeah, but now we've gone too far.
Mustache right?
Yeah, I'm going to keep going. Chapter 34, Legends, Matt chapter. All right, Matt said, unrolling one of Rydell's best maps on his table. Talmanes, Tom, Noel, Joylin, and Mandevwin had arranged their chairs around the table. Beside the map of the area, Matt unrolled a sketch of the layout of a medium-sized town. Matt's pavilion was shaded by the pine... It was time to stop being a fool. The whole world had decided to turn against him. Even rural mountain towns were death traps these days. Next he knew, the daisies on the side of the road would be ganging up to try and eat them. The thought gave him pause as he remembered the poor peddler sinking into the phantom Shoreacres town. When that ghostly place had vanished, it had left behind a meadow with butterflies and flowers, including daisies. Well, Matrim Cawthon wasn't about to end up dead on some random backwater road. This time he would plan, and he would be ready. He nodded to himself in satisfaction. The inn's here, the Shaken Fist. Two separate travelers agreed that it was a fine inn, nicest of the three in the town. The woman looking for me hasn't made any effort to hide her whereabouts, so that means she thinks that she's well protected. We can expect guards. I want 3... He runs through all this stuff, and then he turns and he goes, Tom, you'll take Harnan, Fergan, and Mandevwin as apprentices, and Noel can be your footman.
Footman?
Noel asked.
Why does a gleeman need a footman?
All right, Matt said. You can be his brother, then, who doubles as a manservant. Joylin, wait, Matt, Mandevwin said.
I'm to be an apprentice gleeman. I'm not certain my voice is suited to fine singing. You've heard me, I warrant, and with only one eye, I doubt I'll fare well at juggling.
You're a new apprentice, Matt said. Tom knows you don't have any talent, but he took pity on you because your great aunt, with whom you lived since your parents died in a tragic oxen stampede, took sick of the clover pox and went crazy. She started feeding you table scraps and treated you like the family hound Marks, who'd run away when you were just 7. Mandevwin scratched his head.
I feel like this is Matt being like, because here's the thing, Matt is theater kid.
Matt is a theater
Matt
kid.
is a theater kid. This is why this fits Matt. Matt, anything a theater kid would do, Matt would do.
Aren't I a little old to be an apprentice, though?
No,
Nonsense.
Matt is a neurodivergent theater kid.
Matt said. You're young at heart, and since you never married, the only woman you ever loved ran away with the tanner's son, Tom's arrival offered you an opportunity to start fresh.
But I don't want to leave my great aunt.
Okay,
Mandevwin protested.
wait. Okay, I'm sorry. Now this is making me think about all of them in high school. All right, so here's the thing. Matt's theater kid, for sure.
Matt's a DM. He's DMing this.
Yeah, but DMs are
Our
often
theater kids. Yeah, that's
They're-
true.
The overlap there is strong. It's so strong. Because here's the thing. The nerd groups that make up like what a DM circle is like a bunch of the like tech kind of nerds, right? And then the DM has to be the theater kid, though.
That's true.
Has to be the theater kid. Has to. Must. Okay. Because of the theatrics. Anyway, they get to like be the one that's like the biggest so that everyone else feels safe to actually do stuff. All right. So there's that. Okay. Avienda's on the girls lacrosse team.
Yes.
Yeah, she's captain the girls lacrosse team. Egwene is student government.
Oh, God, yeah. Parents part of Sierra Club.
What's Sierra Club?
Environmental awareness. I think,
for sure.
as I recall.
Yeah, some kind of like scouts.
Rand does Model UN, but he just ends up yelling.
No,
Elaine does Model UN. What am I talking about?
Yeah. Rand. Rand is in a high school metal band.
Now he is, but like I think at the beginning of the series, he just like he played acoustic guitar, but he wasn't annoying about it.
He was on track. He was good enough to play college football, right, as a freshman, but then he got injured mid-season. Had too many concussions, and was embittered about the fact that ruined his like scholarship opportunities. And so now he is in a metal band and smokes weed.
Okay. Who are we forgetting? Tom's the band teacher.
Elaine's head cheerleader.
We said Elaine was on MUN.
No, we said Egwene was on MUN.
No, he said Egwene was a student government.
Oh, yeah, no, Elaine. But she's also head cheerleader. She's doing both at the same time. Really difficult. Oh, Eludra's in Girls Who Code.
Yeah. Who's in Math Olympiad? Somebody's got to do Math Olympiad.
Oh, Eludra.
Eludra's also in Math Olympiad? She's the math lead. Okay.
Eludra's the math lead. What other student activities are there?
I spent so long.
I know. Hold on. Who are we missing?
Matt also
Nynaeve.
Absolutely plays WoW.
Nynaeve does like after school volunteering.
Yes. Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah. Or something like that.
Yeah. Fuck. What's the other one?
Like, did your school have a volunteer hour requirement?
Not a requirement, but it was advised. And everybody did.
Like every year one person like wins the award for most volunteer
No, we didn't
hour?
have that.
Oh, we had that.
Yeah, we didn't have that.
Okay, she wins every year.
People just did it because they wanted to.
Oh, how
And
nice.
I guess because it looks good on a college application, etc. Warren is the homeroom teacher.
Avienda also founded the Gay Straight Alliance.
She absolutely did in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
When everybody was way
mean
the
about
fuck more casually homophobic.
Way the fuck more.
In some ways. Anyway,
I was talking to somebody in their 20s, like who was 20 the other day, and she was like, I feel like society's getting worse. And I'm like, no.
it's complicated.
It's complicated. Yeah. I was like, and she's like, and I feel like people are getting dumber. And I was like, no.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
So I just love all this.
But I don't want to leave my great aunt,
Endeavorin protested.
She's cared for me since I was a child. It's not honest of a man to abandon an elderly woman just because she gets a little confused.
There is
How do
no
people not like
great
this section?
aunt.
This is shocking to me.
This is a legend. This is a story to go with your false name.
a legend like Rand.
Can't I have a story that makes me more honorable?
Too late. You can't change now. Spent half the night working on your story. It's best out of the lot. Here, memorize this. And he gives him a packet, and Tom goes,
Are you sure we're not taking this a little too far, lad?
I'm not going to be surprised again, Tom. Burn me. I'm not going to let it happen. I'm tired of walking into traps unprepared. I plan to take command of my own destiny. Stop running from problem to problem. It's time to be in charge. And you plan to do that with, Joylin said. Elaborate aliases with backstories, Matt said. Bloody right I do. What about me? Talmanes asked. That twinkle to his eyes was back, though he spoke with a completely earnest voice.
Let me guess, Matt. I'm a traveling merchant who once trained with the Aiel and who has come to the village because he's heard there's a trout that lives in the lake who insulted his father.
I think that's fucking funny.
I think this whole thing is hilarious.
I just love... By the way, here's the thing. People love I just need to point this out. People fucking love Talmanes. Talmanes does almost nothing until these books.
Yeah, I'm confused.
He's just kind of there, being a nobleman with Matt.
Yeah. Brandon Sanderson made Talmanes what he is.
I honestly do kind of think that Brandon Sanderson made Talmanes the character that he is, because Talmanes was slightly dry before, But Brandon took that and was like, wry humor. I can use this.
For real.
And he's the straight man to whatever the fuck Matt is doing. They're a tag team duo. I don't know. Nonsense, Matt said, handing him his sheets. You're a warder. That's rather suspicious, Tolmani's noted. You're supposed to be suspicious. It's always easier to beat a man in cards when he's thinking about something else. Well, you will be our something else. You can use Fenn's cloak. He said he'd let me borrow it. He still feels guilty for letting those serving women get away.
Of course, you didn't tell him that they simply vanished, Tom added, and that there was no way for him to keep it from happening.
Didn't see the point in telling him, Matt said. No use dwelling on the past, I say.
A warder, is it? Tolmani said. I'll have to practice scowling.
You're not taking this seriously.
What is it, you ask? Is there someone who is taking this seriously?
Burn that twinkle. Had Matt really ever thought this man was slow to laugh? He just did it on the inside. That was the most infuriating way. So, sorry, I don't mean to just read all this.
No, please do, because I personally love it. And if you hate it, that is just like your opinion, man.
Now, maybe I went a little far with the preparations, but I intend to find this person before they can order a flock of dark friends or worse to cut my throat in the night. Understood?
And then he walks up to Tolmani's, and under his breath he goes,
You secretly harbor a love of painting, and you wish you could escape the life of death you've committed yourself to. You came through Truestar on your way south rather than making a more direct route because you love the mountains. You're hoping to hear word of your younger brother whom you haven't seen in years and who disappeared on a hunting trip in southern Andor. You have a very tortured past. Read page 4.
I think that's so funny.
I think that's fucking hilarious.
Read page 4 is like one of the funniest things that's been said in these books. Read page 4. Like, maybe this is just me as a writer who finds this all very, like, relatable. Maybe because I see myself as Matt and I could totally see myself doing all of this. But I'm like, no, I'm the most Matt person in this. Everybody who thinks that they're a Matt that I have met, I'm like, no, you're not a Matt. I'm a Matt. Every time it's like some guy who's like, I'm a Matt. And I'm like, at most, you're a parent. Like every time. Every time.
I do think Matts are rare.
I'm like, oh yeah, you're Matt. Tell me a joke.
What I think is interesting about Matt is I think a lot of the people who think they're Matt
are wrong.
Are playing Matt straight.
Yes. They identify with the I'm not a hero kind
I'm
of
not
thing.
a hero, I'm a badass thing, but
no,
he doesn't think
First
that.
Of all, Matt doesn't think he's a badass.
Yeah.
He does not think he's a badass. Matt is a hero who doesn't take himself seriously at all. At all. And frankly, half the shit in this book, he's lucked into.
That's his superpower.
That's his whole fucking thing. Matt doesn't work particularly hard.
No, Matt is kind of a fuckboy.
Yeah. I am Matt Moon, but Egwene's son, which is why I work hard.
We're going to take an ad break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. He goes...
I'm like, you're a Matt? Tell me a joke that's actually funny. And not at all sexist.
He goes to talk to some people, figures some stuff out. He watches the crossbowmen practicing their crossbowing because he's got all these insane crossbows now. And he watches them doing crossbow practice. And then he's like, we're really good at this. And then he goes to talk to Aludra, but Bail Domon is there. And he's like, damn, she's cute. And then he's like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to think about that one too hard because I'm married. And Egwene is also there. Egwene's dark hair was growing out, making her look less and less like one of the Shanshan nobility. Matt still had trouble trying to decide what to call the woman. She wanted to be known as Leelwyn, and sometimes he thought of her like that.
You know what? I'm thinking about this. This whole take of me being like, I like this section, and that turns out to be a controversial and hot take. This is what you're here for.
It's true.
You're here for my bravery. I'm coming out here against the whole fandom and saying, I like this scene. This is my Gawain tattoo. This is the moment.
When we eventually get to the other...
Points to whoever can tell me what musical that's from. It's going to be Sulin.
Malkirikon Sulin?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be Sulin. Hi, Sulin.
When we eventually get to the second thing that Matt does that pisses everybody off, I want to see if you identify it before I tell you what it is. Okay, and by everybody, I mean many people. not me. So he goes to talk to, Aludra, Lealwyn. It was foolish to go about changing your name just because someone said you had to, but he didn't really blame her for not wanting to rile Tuon. She was a bloody stubborn one, Tuon was. He found himself glancing to the south again, but caught himself. Blood and ashes, she'd be just fine. You want to talk about Egwene and Lealwyn at all?
I'm glad that he's worried for his spouse. I hate who she is.
Yeah. You want to talk about Egwene and Lealwyn at all? We've talked about this before, so there's not a ton to retread.
There was more sexual tension between her and Aludra than there has been between Matt and Aludra, so I think Aludra will get over it.
Yeah. Well, Matt and Aludra were just making out aggressively, which is something that I, and apparently almost everyone I've spoken to, completely forgot. Because whenever I tell people about that...
insisted.
Yeah, because I completely blocked it out for some reason.
It's 100% right. They literally explicitly say that they've been making out on the reg.
Yeah, and I always forget that. And then I tell people, like, yeah, Matt and Aludra making out. They're like, no, we would have liked for that to have happened, but that never happened. And I'm like, it 100% fucking happened.
It 100% happened.
So...
Hold on, I'm going to run to the restroom.
Okay, I'll pause.
Hey.
All right. We're back. Anything else you want to say about Lealwyn, Egwene?
For anyone who was wondering what that noise was, it was me hitting myself in the face with the microphone.
Anything else you want to cover about
I just
Lealwyn?
thought everyone needed to know why I went,
Poor thing. Lealwyn, Egwene, and all that. I kind of
want her and Aludra to kiss. I'm going to be real about that.
I kind of like that she's taken the name that Tuon gave her as a punishment and adopted it as like, fuck you. I'm done with your shit-ass culture, and I'm going to take this punishment and wear it proudly.
The only time I disagree with Matt in this whole thing is when he goes, well, I don't want to just call her that. I'm like, if she wants to be called something.
Call her that, yeah.
You should call her that.
Matt had actually called her by her old name once or twice after Tuon's departure, but had received a curt reprimand. Women, they made no sense. And Seanchan, women least of all. And then Bail Domon is standing there being a bulky
and everyone goes, Matt would never say that women make no sense. And then I'm like, here are books and books and books of him doing so.
A hunky Hulk is what Bail Domon is being. And he goes in to talk to Aludra, and he's like, so what's the deets?
Here's the thing. I'm brave. I'm brave enough to come out here and say, I liked it. I liked this season. Hurl your arrows at me. Throw your stones. I am ready. Cancel me if you must. I will not be silenced. This is the hill upon which I breathe my last.
That this is funny?
Yes.
Sure. Aludra... I think it's funny too. Aludra...
I stand steadfast amidst the slings and arrows of your torment. I stand alone defending this scene from your derision. I am inevitable. Here's the thing. It takes one person going, hot take, I liked it. And then all of these other people will go, hot take, I liked it too, actually. And then all of a sudden, some people who were on the fence about the whole thing will go, you know what, actually, now that I think about it, I too will like it. And then eventually, somebody will go, you know what, I didn't like it, now I like it. And then I rise with my army from the ashes of your dreams and make you the one who is in the wrong.
Tell me about Aludra's. She's holding the shelf. She's gripping the shelf above her head.
I shall rule the fandom with an iron fist. I shall change minds and hearts.
I love this.
Brandon Sanderson will call me Brando Sando.
Tell me about Aludra's plans to build a bunch of dragons. That she is keeping
cannons.
under wraps. Yeah.
They're cannons.
What all does she
They're going to
need?
be outrageously expensive, and she needs she pulls a Ron Swanson and goes, I need all of the copper and tin you have,
Bring
or whatever
me
it is.
all of the copper and tin that you have.
And Matt goes, okay. And she goes, I think you misunderstood me, son. I think you heard me say, I need a lot of copper and tin. What I said was, bring me all of the copper and tin you have.
I love this scene. This is so funny. She needs a mountain of charcoal, sulfur, and bat guano. The notes claimed there was a city specializing in producing it over in the northern reaches of the Mountains of Mist. What city specialized in gathering bat
so
guano,
that these
of all things?
cannons can bat 1,000.
There were copper and tin requirements as well, though for some reason there were no numbers beside those, just a little star notation. And he thinks about how, like, damn, fireworks aren't that impressive after all if it's just batshit paper and fucking charcoal. But you know what? Maybe that's why they keep it so secret. And he's like, you need a lot of shit. She goes, yeah, literally. And he goes, okay, but like you also need a lot of stuff. And she goes, yeah.
Wait. So in this world, bad shit is explosive?
No, but it's an ingredient. And I assume this is something where the author did research moment and Brandon was like, they derive something from bat shit. I don't know what, but I assume that's what happened. And Matt's like, this is a lot of fucking money. She goes, yeah, well, luckily we have magic angry Jesus. That'll work.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't include a manpower estimate. How many bell founders are you going to need? Everyone you can get. Is that not what you promised me? Every bell founder from Andor to Tyr? I suppose. What about copper and tin? You don't have an estimate of those. I need all of it. What do you mean all of it? All of it.
What do you mean?
Every scrap of copper and tin you can scrounge up from this side of the spine of the world. Perhaps that does seem too ambitious.
Perhaps.
Bloody right, it's ambitious. Yes. Let us assume the dragon has control of Camelin, Kyrian, Ilian, and Tyr.
You know what's weird also?
What?
It's no longer as comfortable to look down.
You still talking? This is the jaw?
It's not as comfortable to look down.
That makes sense.
I'll be fixing my neck problems too.
There you go. Listen, all of it stems from this.
Oh my God. Oh, am I even chronically ill?
Yes, you are. Let us assume the dragon has
Do
control
we know this for sure?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Camelin, Kyrian, Ilian, and Tyr. If he were to provide me with access to each and every mine and metal store of copper and tin in those 4 cities, I suppose it would be sufficient.
Why isn't it as comfortable to look down? I never understood how people sat all day with their necks up, and now that my neck is up more, my shoulders are coming down naturally and of their own accord.
You're going on a journey. Do you need a moment?
This is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me,
Do
and
you
I
need
don't
a
know
second?
what is happening. I'm so sorry. This
Hold
is
on
the
a
weirdest
second.
thing
We're gonna take a moment.
Oh my God.
Perhaps that is too ambitious. Perhaps that does seem too ambitious. Bloody right, it's ambitious. Yes, Aludra said. Let us assume the dragon has control of Camelin, Kyrian, Ilian, and Tyr. If he were to provide me with access to each and every mine and metal store of copper and tin in those 4 cities, I suppose it would be sufficient. Every metal store. Yes. In 4 of the world's largest cities. Yes. And you suppose that would be sufficient.
How is this not the funniest chapter in the world?
I believe that is what I said, Matrim Cotton. Great, I'll see what I can do about that. Would you like the Bloody Dark One to come polish your shoes while you're at it? Maybe we could dig up Arthur Hawkwing and get him to do a dance for you.
Be nice.
My dragons, they will be a great power for a man of war. You claim what I have given you is extravagant. It is only needed. I will not lie and say I didn't expect this dismissiveness from you, Master Cawthon. Pessimism, she is a fond friend of yours, yes?
That's what I'm going to start saying to people. Pessimism, she's a fond friend of yours, yes?
That's uncalled for. I barely know her. Mere acquaintances at best. You got my oath on it.
How is this not the funny... This is the best math chapter ever.
I'm sorry, Aludra. I shouldn't have talked like that. Look, I know that... Well, it's odd how Tuan... She waved a hand, cutting him off. It is nothing. I have my dragons. You've brought me the chance to create them. Other matters are no longer of concern. I wish you happiness. Well, anyway, I hope I can get this done. You ask for a lot of resources. These bell founders and materials, they're what I need. No more and no less. I have done what I can here without resources. I will still need to spend weeks testing. We will need to make a single dragon first to check. So you have some time to gather all of this. But it will take much time, and yet you refuse to tell me when the dragons will be needed. He's like, I don't fucking know, man. Whenever Rand needs him, he's got this weird fishhook in my guts. He's yanking me over this way, and like I can't fucking tell you shit because I just gotta go where Tavir needs me to go right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody's like, hey, be nice to Aludra. And he's like, I am being nice to Aludra.
Also,
like, good, be nice.
Also, Brandon seems to be making more of a use out of Aludra. I approve of this message.
You do wise to show Mistress Aludra respect, Leolwyn said, rather than being so flippant towards her. That was sincere, Matt said. That last part was, at least burn me, woman. Can't you tell when a man's being sincere? Mistress Aludra is brilliant. You don't understand the gift she's given you in these plans. Why, if the Empire had these weapons, well, see to it you don't give it.
I need Egwene to follow me around as my hype girl. I need her to go, you don't understand the brilliance of Allie from Wheel Takes. You don't understand what she's doing here.
Mistress.
Coming out here bravely in a time of fear, sharing that she likes this scene.
I don't want to wake up one morning and find you've run off with these plans in an attempt at retrieving your title. And she's like, I wouldn't fucking, that's not how I go. That's not how I do. Thanks about Tuan. And she's like, yeah, I don't go in for that shit. And Matt's like, well, why won't you help us fight the Shanchan then? And Bail Doman goes, you don't be swimming in deep water right now, lad. Aye, deep water filled with lionfish. It may be time to stop splashing so loudly. He's like, damn, all right, fucking fine. I thought I was like Prince of the bullshit or whatever. Thought you'd be nice to me because I'm like fucking High Prince whatever
Hannon's
guy.
not into that anymore. She's deconstructing now. She's a deconstruction girly. We love that for her.
And he decides he's going to take the plans with him so that if she accidentally blows up the fucking workstation, they don't get destroyed. She's like, that's fine. That's fine. So then who busts in?
Who does bust in?
You smell bad and you're ugly.
Oh. Over.
Matt!
A voice called,
Matt, you've got to come with me.
What?
Someone's come to the camp.
See? I told you I'm Matt.
wait, slow down. Someone's come? Who? Why do you need me?
Talmani sent me to fetch you. He thinks you're someone important. Said to tell you she's got some pages with your picture on them and that she's got a distinctive face, whatever that means.
Oliver continued, but Matt had stopped listening. There, sitting on a short-legged white mare, was a pudgy woman with a grandmotherly air, a brown dress, and streaks of gray in her hair, which was pulled back in a bun. She was surrounded by a group of soldiers.
That noise was because my headphones popped off my head.
Talmanis and Mandevwin standing directly in front of her like two stone pillars barring entrance to a harbor. The Aes Sedai smiled at Matt as he trotted up.
North Harbor, am I right?
Ah, very nice,
she said primly.
You've grown prompt since we last parted, Matt from Cawthon.
Varen, you've discovered someone's distributing pictures of me in True Stare?
You could say that.
Blood and bloody ashes, it was you, wasn't it? You're the one who's been looking for me.
For some time, I might add, and rather against my will.
He's like, what the fuck? What the fuck does that even mean?
The kind merchant came to me in True Stare about an hour ago and explained that he just had a nice meeting with you and that you'd paid him handsomely for a sketch of True Stare. I figured I'd spare the town an assault by your associates and come see you myself.
An hour ago? But True Stare's half a day's march away.
Indeed it is.
Burn me, you got traveling, don't you?
I surmise you're trying to get to Andor with this army, Master Cawthon.
So anyway, I don't mean to just do the voices, but I haven't gotten to do Varen's voice in a while.
I'm happy.
And I miss doing
Please
Varen's
continue.
voice.
What is the problem? Please
that
continue.
Depends, Matt said. Can you take us there?
In a very short time,
Varen said.
See, I told you that people would show up who could travel.
I could have your men in Camelin by evening.
You were acting like...
I'm fucking with you.
Wow.
I do it all the time.
Wow.
Light.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Also, I may have forgotten that this happened.
With you. Oh, that makes more sense.
What do you want? He asked.
Frankly,
she replied, sighing slightly,
what I want, Madam Cawthon, is to be cut free from your Taviran web. Do you know how long you've forced me to wait in these mountains?
Forced?
Yes, she said. Come, we have much to discuss.
And Talmanis goes, I guess there won't be a raid. Mandevwin fingered his eye patch. Does this mean I can go back to my poor aged aunt?
You have no poor aged aunt, Matt growled. Come on, let's hear what the woman has to say.
Fine, Mandevwin said. But next time, I get to be the warder. All right, Matt? Matt just sighed, hurrying after Varen.
This is the best
It's the funniest
chapter.
fucking thing, man. I'm sorry. I love that chapter. That's funny as fuck.
I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight everybody.
Now watch what's going to happen. It's going to turn out that only 9 people hate this chapter. And everyone's going to go like, Gus, you dunce. This is a beloved chapter. That happens sometimes. Where my sample size is skewed. And I misunderstand. But I don't know. I like it. Allie, any thoughts on all this? Varen's here. Why is she looking for Matt? What's she need? Varen fucking out of left field, by the way.
Well, she was called there by Taviran.
Yeah.
That's what she says. She's like, I'm going to actually need you to release me from your Taviran web. And he's like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
And she goes, I've been literally standing here waiting for you for like a month or whatever. For like
quite a long
weeks.
time. Yeah. That's what, because she, remember the pictures, she was the one who distributed the fucking pictures.
Yeah, she's like, if you see a guy that looks like this, please tell me.
Let a girl know.
I need to get the fuck out of here.
I would like to do, I have important pressing business. I have tea that needs to be brewed. I have meetings that need to be had. I have books that need to be shared and read. Come on now.
I'm doing some kind of action toward compelling people, which is strictly prohibited.
I have all kinds of things, none of them important to you necessarily, but I'm a busy gal.
Busy.
All right. Any other thought? I don't know. I guess it's a long episode. Thanks for listening, everyone. We have social media if you want to know what we've got going on. It's linked down below. We also have a Patreon if you want to support us that way. It's patreon.com/wheeltakes. And you can always leave us a rating and or a review if you want. Helps a lot. Other than that, anything else, Allie?
Finger the rim.
Finger. All right, I'll see you back here in a couple hours. And for you, next week. Bye.
Bye.